Hello. So this video is how to test drive and buy a used car. A lot of the things I share are things that I wish I had known, and I'm just sharing what I learned with all of you. So thanks for watching.
Hey guys, Chris Fix here, and today I'm going to show you what to look for when you test drive a used car and how I negotiate with the owner of the car and what to look for in the car's title to make sure the bank doesn't own the car or that it isn't a salvage or flooded car. In the previous episodes of how to buy a used car, we met with the owner, did an engine, interior, and exterior inspection, so all that's left is the test drive. So let's get to it. Actually, I should mention this first. Only go for a test drive if you're really interested in the car, because you don't want to waste anybody's time. I know I'm going to make Frank an offer as long as the car drives as expected, and I just want to make that clear. Alright, so get in the car, start her up, and then go over in your head the main tests you want to do. On this test drive, the main things that we're going to want to test are the engine, transmission, brakes, and suspension. To do that, make sure you get some highway driving as well as city driving. And I have everything you need to check on my checklist, and you can download that with the link in the description, so when you inspect a used car, you won't forget anything. Now let's get going. Now you want to spend about 10 minutes taking the car for a test drive and just drive normally. If there are any problems, there's a good chance in those 10 minutes from just driving around normally that you're going to find these problems. And we're going to go jump on the highway right away because it's right here. So again, right now I'm driving normally, and it's a good idea to tell the owner of the car what you're going to be doing. For example, we're going to be doing a hard acceleration test and a hard braking test. Obviously you want to be safe when you do all this, but you want to let the owner know just to be courteous, and also because you don't want them freaking out when you're jamming on the gas and jamming on the brake. So here's a merge, and here's a good chance to really accelerate hard. So I'm going to do a hard acceleration here. The engine's warmed up, it shifts nice. For a 2.5 liter, this thing has pretty good pep. Now I'm letting it coast. I want to make sure it's not slowing down too fast, like the brakes are locked up or something like that. That definitely passed the hard acceleration test. I do feel a little bit of a shimmy. You were talking about the brakes being no good, so that could be from the brakes. Don't forget to test the cruise control. Turn it on with the button back here. It comes on the screen. And then you hit set. There we go. Beautiful, it works. And then when you hit the brake, it shuts off. Awesome. I'm gonna actually get off here. So it was a relatively short highway test. We don't have to go far. We just want to make sure it feels smooth. Everything felt really smooth. Do you ride this on the highway a lot, or is are your trips local?
I take it to the city every once in a while. It handles pretty well on the highway, in my opinion. But typically, it's pretty local.
It's a good idea to ask the owner a lot of questions, whatever comes to mind. He knows the car, you don't. He knows how he's driven, you have no clue.
You know these roads pretty well.
Yeah, I'm familiar with the area. I'm about a half an hour away, so I've been here plenty of times. The mall's right around the corner.
Yeah.
So now we're gonna do the city driving. We're just getting a feel for how it reacts under stop and go. So now I'm gonna hit the brakes hard because it doesn't look like there's anybody around. So go to speed limit, and I'm gonna try to lock up the ABS. So the ABS didn't turn on, we didn't get any skidding. I'm gonna try it one more time. There we go. I felt the ABS in the pedal, and that means it's working. There's no ABS lights on in the dash, so that's good. That's what we wanna see. It stops straight. When you hit the brakes, even when I'm going slow, when you hit the brakes, it's stopping straight. Check for that. Here's actually a good spot that we could mess around with, turning hard. You want to turn the wheel all the way until you can't turn it anymore. This will test the front bearings, CV joints, and the axles, the ball joints, and the power steering. You want the steering wheel to turn easily with no noises. Groaning or whining is going to be the power steering pump. Squeaking is a bad ball joint or a bad tie rod. A click could be a bearing or a CV joint that's in the front axle. And then when everything sounds good, you want to turn it the other way and feel and listen again. This feels and sounds good, so the test drive is going great. Alright, at this point we can start heading back. Perfect timing. Some bumps in the road. You want to listen for any bangs or knocks. That could be shocks or sway bar bushings going bad. Also, make sure the steering feels comfortable and predictable, not loose. So that was a really good test for the suspension. Suspension feels good, it's nice and firm. You would think it would be a little bit softer for a luxury car, but this is like one of those luxury sports cars, firmer suspension. So that pretty much covers what you want to do on a test drive. There are a few tests that I like to do on every test drive, which I showed you, but for the most part, just pay attention to the gauges, pay attention to anything that doesn't feel normal or seem normal. Again, hitting the brakes. You can see there is a shimmy here, but it's nothing horrible. It's just like warped brake rotors, so I'm pretty sure that's what it is. You said it needs brakes, that's my guess.
Yeah, I'm thinking the front 2 brakes have to be replaced.
Yeah, that plus the tires in alignment could be what's causing the shaking. The good thing about this test drive is the engine is buttery smooth and powerful, and the transmission shifts are crisp, and overall the car's handling great. Basically, the car's something I would want to own. It feels reliable, and I feel comfortable driving it. And the last thing I want to say is always be nice and respectful to the owner when you're test driving the car, because it isn't your car.
Yeah, that's what Craigslist gets you.
Yeah, exactly.
I've had my fair share of people look at this car. Got some weirdos.
All right. And there we go. That's how you check out a used car. We checked out everything on this checklist, and thanks to Frank, the owner of the vehicle, for letting us film and everything. And now comes to the fun part where we do the negotiation. Now before we negotiate, this is what's going through my head. I want the car. This is the best one I've seen mechanically out of all the Jaguars I've looked at. My main concern is the vibration in the steering wheel. It's going to need new tires, new brakes, and an alignment right away. Plus the hood cable has to get replaced so the hood doesn't go flying. And then it does need new wheels because they're not the right ones for this car, which could also be causing the vibration at speed. And then I need to figure out why the backup sensors aren't working. But the car could still be driven if I don't fix that right away. So he's asking $3,000. The car's worth about $2,500 in fair condition. So I'm going to try to get the car for around $2,000 because that's somewhat reasonable. But at the same time, you don't want to lowball him because that's just going to make him feel disrespected or mad, and that's the last thing you want. So what I do to prevent that is I explain my offer. Also, a very important thing we learned from the test drive is what he said right here.
I've had my fair share of people look at this car.
So he probably wants to sell it already because he's shown it so much. And I'm a serious buyer with cash in hand, and I'm ready to take the car today, right now. So use that information to your advantage, and here's how I negotiated. Let's go for it. Again, thank you very much for letting us check out your car, letting me film. I really appreciate it. I'm sure all the viewers appreciate it.
Yeah, not a problem.
And now comes to the fun part where we negotiate, and I like the car. This is the best Jaguar I've seen. It does have a few things here and there. The wheels and tires, they need to be replaced. I think your offer of $3,000 is a little bit too high.
You said you love the car.
Yeah, no, I do like the car, but I'd like to make you an offer of $1,500 for this car. I think that's what it's worth.
Well, I don't think I could do 15. I need to put the money towards my new car, so 15 is not gonna. I can drop it a little, maybe 26.
We're still a little bit too far off. I'll be honest, like I can't go above 2. That's too much. I'm really. Would you do 1,800?
All right, I can come down to 21.
That's still, for this car, it's still a little bit too high. I'm gonna make you an offer, 1,900. That's my final offer. You have my number. I'm here right now with the cash. I'll buy it right now. That's up to you. I'm interested. You know, I'm ready to buy it right now. Take it off your hands right now.
For 19, I think I'm gonna hold off for now. I have a couple more people that said they want to come and look at it, so.
I'm kind of set at the $1,900 mark. I honestly just don't think the car is worth more than that. I'm gonna be putting in about $1,000. But you have my number. I really appreciate the test drive, letting me film and everything. The viewers appreciate it, so thank you very much. And again, you have my number. Give me a call if you don't sell it.
Will do.
Close but no cigar.
Alright, I'll tell you what.
Change your mind?
I can do $2,000.
I'm really firm at that 1,900. There's a lot of stuff that needs to get done to it. I love the car. For me, I'm comfortable at 1,900.
I'll give it to you for 1,900.
19?
Yeah.
We got a deal? Give me that camera. Get this handshake on camera. Got ourselves a deal. I'm gonna just go over and park real quick.
Alright, sounds good.
All right, look at that. That is our new car. That is awesome. My dad is gonna love this. I'm pumped to go bring this home. I love the look of Jaguars, and this one was the nicest one I've driven. He's at my price range. You know, that's what I mean. Don't get emotional. If he comes down, he comes down. If he doesn't, he doesn't. So now we're gonna go fill out the paperwork. He's gonna give me the title. I'm gonna give him the cash money, and we'll go off of that. All right, the car is almost ours. We negotiated, we came to an agreement with the price. Now we have the title in our hand, and we need to make sure we check a few things before we hand over the money. The title or the pink slip, whatever you want to call it, is the piece of paper that you need in your name to own the vehicle. So the first thing we'll do is we want to check out this top section here. There's a lot of important information. You want to make sure this VIN number right here matches the VIN on your car. If this VIN does not match, this title is not for the correct car. And then you could also verify, it's a 2003 Jaguar X-Type, it's a 4-door and it's silver. Good. And then right here is going to be the mileage that Frank bought the car at. So Frank bought the car when it had 129,000 miles. It now has like 135,000 miles, so he put about 6,000 miles on it. Right next to the mileage, there's a letter right here, and this letter is very important. A means that it's the actual mileage, but if you see an S, that means the car is salvage, or a T, that means that the car was used as a taxi. F is for flood, P is for police, L is for lemon law, and so on. So you want to check this out. Everything on this title up here is looking good. There's one more thing up here we want to check. We want to make sure that the person showing us the car is the listed owner on this title. So Frank was showing us the car, and he's the owner. It also has his driver's license down here, just in case you want to verify. You could just ask to make sure the driver's license is the same, because you can't have somebody else selling you the vehicle besides this owner listed right here. Now, even if Frank is listed here, he might not own the car. The bank might own the car, and that's what we're going to look at right down here. If there's a stamp right in this section right here, that means the bank owns the car. Now, if there's a stamp here, but then right here it says lien released by, and it's signed off, and there's a stamp on this, that means that the lien was paid off. So the bank doesn't own the car anymore. Frank owns the car. So once you check all this information on the front of the title, now it's time to sign the back of the title. This is where you need to focus and pay a lot of attention, because you can't mess up here. You can't have any cross-outs, because then this title is void. And then you have to get the owner to come with you to DMV, you have to do all this paperwork, and it's just not worth it. Just pay attention here, take your time, don't rush. After everything's all signed off, now you could give your seller the money, take this, and the car is now yours. Now you're gonna go to DMV and take care of business. Thanks again, Frank. I really appreciate it. Made my day. This is cool. So, driving home the new Jag, that is exactly how you do it. That is how you buy a used car. Hopefully you learned a lot. Again, comment below. Future Jaguar videos to come. Hopefully not repair videos, but we do need new tires, we need new rims, and it needs some brakes and a couple other things. So stay tuned.
Oh man.
Come on. The horn works.